Hello everybody, I'm Lou Samoji here with Tom Loy, our recruiting expert with 24/7 Sports and blueandgold.com. Today, after the Louisville game, two official visitors were here, and a big one from the 2016 class as well.
Well, Keely Ross was here from 2015, West Coast kid, Riverside, California, cornerback, wide receiver, U.S. Army All-American. This was his second trip. He was here earlier this summer for 4 days, so this was his second trip to campus, and he is hosted by Max Redfield, who obviously, didn't get a lot of burn today, but he's a former friend of him. They were friends from California and everything, but so far, from everything I've seen, he had a smile on his face for much of the trip, and you look around and the weather's not that bad. I don't even have a coat on right now, so that's a good thing when you got a West Coast kid coming to South Bend, Indiana, in the winter. Then we had Ben Edwards from Florida, safety. He's being hosted by Corey Holmes, so that's again there's a friendship there for both Florida kids. So I'm sure he saw some possibility where he could make it to both of them, where they can make a difference in the secondary if they decided to come here. I like Notre Dame's chances with both, in the sense of that you have the Irish in the top two. With Ross, you got him with USC, and he'll obviously be at the USC game next week, so he'll get a second look at Notre Dame. And then with Edwards, Stanford's also in the mix for Notre Dame. He's already been to Stanford. He's been there for the official visit, so there's a chance for Edwards is good enough. He may be a 3-star on 24/7 Sports, but Edwards is good enough to step in and get some playing time as a freshman here. He's a thud hitter, big-time hitter, and a very smart kid, so he would understand Van Gorder's defense. So looking at those two in 2015, so far what I'm hearing is the official visits are going well. Like you mentioned, 2016 5-star offensive lineman Liam Eichenberg is here from Cincinnati. Came up with two friends. He texted me quickly after the game and said, "Tough loss, loved it though, had a great time. I could see myself playing for Notre Dame." I mean, that doesn't get much better after, from a 5-star kid after a tough loss like this. Got a great relationship with Harry Heastand and the rest of the offensive linemen here, and also a good friend of Tommy Kramer, who's a 2016 commit for Notre Dame. So, from all accounts, so far so good from this weekend, besides the tough loss.
21 verbal commitments right now for the class of 2015 that will sign in February. Tom, probably maybe 4 more scholarships maximum available here. How do you finish out now? What is the priority? We've talked about edge rushers there, and we have, other situations there. Defensive backfield has been filled. Offensive line seems to be pretty well filled. Running back is an indication that we need to replenish numbers with Cam leaving and everything. What are the priorities as far as filling out this class?
Well, you mentioned running back. That's something they really want, is a second running back. They have Josh Adams out of the Philadelphia area, Warrenton, Pennsylvania. They got him firmly committed. He's going to sign here come February. Knock on wood, everything. Ronald Jones, the second out of Texas. He's a guy that I'm keeping a close eye on. I'm really starting to soften my confidence with Soso Jamabo, another Texas kid. I really think that UCLA is, it's neck and neck between UCLA and Notre Dame. I can still see it going both ways, but I'm starting to lean towards UCLA from everything I'm hearing. But Ronald Jones, keep an eye on him. He'll be here for the banquet weekend for an official visit. Would not surprise me if he ends up flipping from his Oklahoma State commitment that weekend. Another guy to keep. They want a big-time tight end, and you don't get much better than Alize Jones. With Koyak leaving, bringing a guy like that I'd be surprised if he didn't see the field if he decides to come to Notre Dame. He's a kid out of Las Vegas, 4-star kid, U.S. Army All-American. Big-time tight end, stretched the field, very physical kid, slightly undersized, he's only like 6'3.5", but I mean he's a big-time player. They also want to bring in a receiver. They're still in the hunt with Equanimous St. Brown out of California and Lawrence Cager out of the Maryland area. Sit in good shape with both. Some people think it's going to be Alabama, Ohio State, or Notre Dame. For Cager, he'll be here for an official visit for the banquet weekend again on December 12th. And then with Equanimous St. Brown, it kind of looks like a Utah-Notre Dame battle. If Notre Dame decided to offer his sophomore and freshman brothers at the time, I'm pretty sure he'd be committed at this point. But Notre Dame doesn't necessarily work that way, as you know. And so it's going to be a tough decision he's going to have to make. And coming down the stretch, does he want to take an offer from Notre Dame, or does he want to take an offer from Utah? So we'll see what happens. But that's kind of where they're looking right now to fill in. Maybe a defensive lineman, but that's not a real pressing need with what they brought in last year, and then this year from what they have, keep an eye on Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle out of Connecticut. They really like him, Under Armour All-American. He'll be here most likely for an official visit during the banquet weekend. Nothing's really set, but that's what I keep hearing. So see what happens.
I have two roles on this show, to say hello and to say goodbye. So for Tom Loy, we'll join you again sometime in December here for a recruiting recap right before the banquet and everything else. Until then, join us again on blueandgold.com.